Fantastic. Thank you so much for the time that you have given us thus far and so much knowledge and so much depth. So much for us to unpack also later. When I hear back, I'm sure I'm going to have, why didn't I ask that question and this question? But we'll continue the conversation, and now a critical component of our conversation, which is very, very dear to South Asian Network and for most of our constituency, which is India. I was born and brought up in India. I left India when I was 23 years old. I am just about 65 now, so I have lived in US more than I have lived in India. But my core value system and my formative years were in India. I am an Indian by nature, an American by citizen. I miss India in every sense of the word: culture, music, food, neighbors, teachers, friends, everything. It's nostalgia for me. I cry when I think of it. The India I left, or the India I grew up in, and the India that I read about, I hear about, seems like to me two different Indias. What's your view?
Uh, yes, uh, two different Indias, uh, but seeds of the present India were there even before, and the forces of liberation and the democratic India that you still feel inspired about and recall, they're still alive today. One of the reasons I decided not to stay in America and went back after my PhD, whereas most of my friends, continued here, stayed here, was precisely because I thought that there are things to do. And so I wanted to become a teacher. I joined Delhi University and became part of so many of these initiatives that you talk about. And today, I feel equally frustrated that my generation, all our initiatives of the last 50 years, seem to have failed. Things that we did in Delhi University have been totally transformed in the negative. In political science department, we set up in the university campus an interdisciplinary center called Developing Countries Research Center. 20 years we made it a very important center of interaction with the globe and a lot of interesting things. But now it has been transformed, totally, and political science department has been transformed and so on. The point I want to make is that even today, I want to go back to India.
Sure.
Though I now find that you have Donald Trump here, you have Narendra Modi there. Both are sort of pursuing exclusivist agendas against which, as a part of the Bandung Network and PUDR and so many other initiatives, we have struggled against all our life. But I have come to the conclusion that struggle is a permanent phenomenon. When I was a student in Berkeley in the 60s, 70s, early 70s, we thought America was changing.
Yes.
So American capitalism had allowed this transformation. So all these values that we cherish today and cherish then, they were growing. All those values have been challenged today. But the setbacks in India and setbacks in the US have convinced me that don't be over-optimistic. Struggle has to be a permanent feature.
Very true.
And that is why in India, I'm sure some of these debacles which have taken place in the freedom struggle agenda, the constitutional agenda, will be amended, and so also in America.
No, thank you. I mean, I agree with you that there are two Indias, but um, politically, definitely there are two Indias. It's so much evolution, devolution, one can argue, from the Bandung, Nehru being a major player in bringing about the global South, to today, to Narendra Modi, it's upside down or completely inverse. But on the political front, though, um, I really feel that India has devolved, not evolved, because of this very chauvinistic uh, emerging trend that seems to be getting roots in the general population, which is now changing the culture, the language, the environment, the relationships, the multicultural, multi-ethnic, multi-religious fabric that India so richly celebrated throughout its history is it seems to be changing. And in US there are several quote unquote scholars of India who have done some research and work, and recently Rutgers published a study on Hindutva, an ethno-nationalist threat to equality and religious pluralism. Pretty heavy allegation. Where do you see the current political arrangement in India and how?
It is a setback and a big reversal of our democratic agenda. And this is going to be there for quite some time. But already you see fissures, even in this trend, and alternative forces coming up, and therefore I have come to realize two things. Number one, secular Democrats like us have to reflect why this setback took place. Particularly, my generation has to ask that question. And the second thing is, on the positive side, did we build enough resources to anticipate this? Now, very briefly, if you look at these two questions, on the first question of why, my answer is we neglected two things. Secular Democrats neglected culture and religion. For example, study of culture was neglected. Study of religion was neglected, as if study of religion would lead to necessarily Hindutva. I remember when I found that in Berkeley there was a religious studies department, and one of my best friends, even today he's my best American friend, Mark Jovenspire, from religious studies he did a PhD on Adhidhan movement.
Wow.
And he is a progressive intellectual, now very famous for his books against, Tales from the Mind of God, and many books. He's actually a secular, Democrat, progressive person. I think he's a great supporter of Joran.
I see. Yes.
Now, when I went back, even as head of the department, I would propose that, and they know that I am a progressive scholar.
Sure.
I said, we have to study religion. I don't know anything about even Hinduism, let alone Islam, Christianity,
Sure.
Sikhism, and so Buddhism. I was outvoted, and I was democratic enough to say that, look, unless you people are convinced, I'm not going to propose
Push
this.
for it, yeah.
So they did not allow religious studies departments. They did not allow study of religion. Now, again, as a left intellectual, I said Marxism had neglected many questions which we must study. One is gender. One of the earliest Marxist groups in Delhi University, we took up study of gender. I set up a research group on gender studies much before UGC came up with the center idea. We set up I did encourage somebody to work on caste and class.
Wow.
At that time, I was criticized as being an American returned new left who had given up class and was emphasizing on caste. I said, sorry, I want class and caste. One of the earliest books we produced with Gail Umbert. She was she died 2 years ago. My best friend, one of my best friends. Together we produced this book, Land, Caste and Politics in Indian States. And later on, then my Marxist friends would caricature. Mohanty is not a class analyst, he's a caste Marxist.
Wow.
And so on. Nationality was another question. I said, look, we have to study nationality. And there is a big debate from, Hobson, Wilson, Stalin to now. And this Anderson's book had just come out, Imagining Society. Now, I said, so I just promoted, because I had to give topics to students or encourage students to do PhD. And finally, Marxism and religion, one student of mine. Today, he's a very important scholar, professor in JNU. And so environment, water, I said politics is everywhere. We have to study politics of water, politics of health, politics, things like that.
Sure.
So one was Marxism neglecting study of culture and religion. Therefore, when Vidut came up with her book, Lakshmi the Rebel, in other words, how to see the rebellious tradition. So this is about a reinterpretation of the Lakshmi Purana as a challenge to patriarchy and caste.
Yeah.
I said,
It's a very radical approach.
Our whole history is full of such popular culture. But you have to study culture.
Yeah.
Similarly, in Latin America, you have liberation theology against imperialism.
Yeah.
And so on. And Desmond Tutu was the biggest, closest colleague in the struggle against apartheid of Nelson Mandela.
Sure.
Therefore, that was one. Second, we did not create positive resources. And because of this, we did not, for example, we thought just having Marxists thought having a political party is enough, or a trade union at best. Even mass organizations like women's organization, peasant organization, youth, etc., they were subordinate to the party. Autonomous mass organizations were not encouraged. Nationality organizations, caste organizations, oppressed caste organizations would be discouraged. So when Dalit Panthis came up, communists did not support them. You see, now, so we also did not create civil liberty groups, oppressed society, oppressed sections, groups, organizations, the alternative literature. Kancha Ilaya should have been part of our mainstream.
Yeah.
not a side stream.
Sorry to interrupt. Kanchala was my professor at Usmania
Oh,
University.
one of my best friends.
Yeah.
I said, Kancha, you are doing a wonderful work. I want to use all your works in our classes.
Right.
So finally, all the communist groups, all the Congress groups, secular groups now realize that we did not create organizations, resources, curriculum, education, schools, alternative medicine, for example. They were so obsessed with Western medicine that if I will go for homeopathy or Unani or Ayurveda, I would be criticized as, you are becoming traditionalist. Nonsense. These are systems of knowledge, people's knowledge.
Absolutely.
You have to incorporate them into your mainstream.
Absolutely.
So you have to wait for Modi to do this, to give Ayush ministry or Ayurveda such status. I mean, Namboodirpad tried to do it, but he was not encouraged. In Kerala, Kerala has such a powerful Ayurvedic tradition.
Vibrant, yeah.
And therefore, create alternative resources for the future.
Right.
This is a big lesson. And see where you went wrong.
Yeah.
Some taboos. Democracy is very important for a communist party.
Absolutely.
For a party.
Sure.
Very important. And it has to be practiced. Therefore, we, in PUDR, we value democracy. I mean, for example, we had a debate on capital punishment. Majority was against capital punishment. Some people said, so and so killed our inspiration, Shankar Guhan Yogi,
And therefore.
he must be given capital punishment.
Yeah.
Sorry, even he must not be given capital punishment. Shankar Guhan Yogi was my personal friend.
Sure.
And when I was his guest, he was my guest. And much of my theory is built on his work and his ideas, his writings. And he was killed. I mean, it was such a great shock.
Sure.
But I would still, because I am against capital punishment, as a humanist, democratic, intellectual. But until there was a consensus, PUDR did not take an open stand. Now it has a consensus.
This is a good analysis, certainly, and I appreciate you you reminding us of the things that we did not do, and as a consequence, we are where we are. So today, knowing where we are and knowing what the current political establishment in the country is taking India to make it Bharat, and then the grand scheme of Akhand Bharat, how do you foresee, if you were to have a crystal ball in 2050, what that India looks like?
I mean, when Modi decided to officially call India Bharat, and replaced the signboard in G20 as Bharat, President of Bharat and so on, I was amused. I said, from my childhood in Odia, we only called this country as Bharat.
Yeah.
What is he doing? Now, therefore, this is a good example from India to Bharat, you see. And this was anticipated even in the Constituent Assembly. Article 1 says India, that is Bharat, is a union of states.
Right.
Now, therefore, these are false, platitudes that there is a India-centric, anglicized intellectual, there is a Bharat-centric. I mean, Hindutva is highly ultra-modern, techno-savvy. It is a fascist ideology, but it is modern, technocentric. It is not, It is not an obscurantist ideology. It's an artificial ideology. You see, please remember, Hind was the term used by people coming from Central Asia and West Asia,
Sure.
from Misr onwards, Egypt onwards, Egypt eastwards, and they saw the river, they called it Sindh, Hind, you know that in Persian.
Pronunciation. Yeah.
And that's how Hind was born. And then you have Stan, again, is Arabic, Persian, and so on. So Hindustan, the area near Sindh River. You see? So that is the origin of the term Hind. Okay? And so therefore Hindustan. I mean, when Iqbal wrote Hindustan, subset para.
Sure.
I mean, that was
it-
the meaning.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with the constructed Brahminic religion called Hinduism.
Hinduism. Yeah.
Gradually, this was created by British colonialism, Hinduism as a religion. Otherwise, it was Sanatan, Brahminism, then challenged by Buddhism and Jainism, and then many different Saivism, Vaishnavism, etc. That is the history of religion. And now Hinduism was finally absolutely constructed in the 18th century and written about in 19th century in Europe, and then imposed in India, Hindus and Muslims, and then you have foreseeing a vision that, you have to isolate the Islamic people, and have a Hindu state.
Rashtra.
So you have Savarkar, Golwalkar, all these
Yeah.
constructions of Hindutva. So Hindutva is a construct, is an imperial Hinduism is an imperialism construct.
Yeah. And
Hindutva is a revivalist construct
Yeah.
by the Savarkarites and Golwalkar, Savarkar, Hedgoya, this group, when they set up the RSS 100 years ago. Therefore, it is not going to survive.
Yeah.
It will become again. So now you have multi-religious tradition of India.
Yeah.
Then you have, because Christianity came with St. Thomas,
Sure.
the first century itself.
Sure.
You
Sure.
see, Islam came with traders and tourists
Correct. Through Kerala.
through Kerala.
Yeah.
And the aggressors came much later,
Later. Yes.
or invaders.
Correct.
First invaders, then
Sure.
aggressors,
Sure.
imperialism, and all this much later.
Sure.
Therefore, all religions of India had normal global migration process bringing them to Indian subcontinent.
Yeah.
You see? And therefore, this history is the history of India, which we want to talk about. Now religious studies are flourishing.
Yeah.
So what is Hinduism? What is Hindutva?
Hindutva. Yeah.
The contrast is being done,
Right.
is being drawn. There are two safeguards against Hindutva succeeding in turning India into Akhand Bharat. One, the Indian connection with Middle East.
Mm.
Labor, capital,
Trade.
trade,
Yeah.
finance. Now, Indian finance is
Sure.
moving.
Yeah.
You see, okay, Modi wants to embrace
Sure.
the Amir, the Sultan.
Sure.
You see, and in return they are also obliging him.
Yeah.
Okay, that is one. That is number one. Number two, now Islam has become such an important global force that in Europe and America,
Yeah.
despite the Trump phenomenon, its presence has to be reckoned with as a benign, normal migration element. You see, in the same way as white Europeans came to America, the same way.
Yeah.
In fact, minus the aggression and annihilation that they committed on the Indians of America.
Yeah.
So that is one external safeguard. Okay. The internal safeguard is India has the largest Muslim in any country in the world.
True.
Okay. And neither Bangladesh nor Pakistan
Yeah.
will invite a large group of Indians to migrate to either of these two
Yeah.
countries.
Yeah.
Impossible. Nobody will like to go, but
Right.
even physically
Even
impossible.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And nor would all the Hindus from Pakistan, particularly Bangladesh,
Yeah.
would like to come to India.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay?
You're right.
Therefore, I will add to it so many other things. Because on the grassroots, Hindus, Muslims, Christians, Sikhs,
Jains. Yeah.
the workers, the artisans, they're so interdependent.
Yes.
So all the riots, all of our studies have shown,
Yeah.
all the riots are engineered riots
Yeah.
by political groups
Yeah.
to create zones of influence and voting support and so on. Now, therefore, the reality on the ground is one security,
Yeah.
and the reality globally is the other safeguard.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, no question of India becoming expansionist even, let alone Akhand Bharat. India shall not be allowed. You see, the global forces will not allow India to, for example, occupy and take over Bangladesh
Right.
or any part,
Right.
and so on.
No, I appreciate the optimism, and I appreciate.
But sorry to interrupt you.
Please.
I'm optimist in the long run,
Yeah.
but it's going to be a very tough battle because Hindutva politics is on the rise.
Yeah.
And there have been cracks now
Yeah.
in 24 elections showed
Right.
some,
Right.
but the struggle is going to be very intense.
Yeah.
So many of my friends are in jail
Sure.
because of
And some have been killed and died.
some have been killed and died.
under detention.
I mean, I was expecting to be one of them in the prison. For whatever reason,
Yeah.
I'm outside because the situation is so bad.
Right. Yeah. So you preempted my question.
Yeah.
That was my follow-up. That while we all are optimistic that India has a self-correction mechanism, the Ganga Jamuna civilization where everyone is interconnected and interdependent and have lived through centuries, and that the tone and tenor of the country will not change.
Ganga Jamuna is nice because of Sangam, but I call it Ganga Narmada Kaveri.
Sure. Expand it even more. Yeah.
Because Narmada, central India,
Yeah.
and Kaveri, south India.
South. Yeah.
Ganga Narmada Kaveri.
And then that other river.
And because I'm a part of the Narmada Bachao.
Sure.
Yeah.
And if I may add, even to that, the Saraswati, which we don't see, but there is
But it is there,
underlying river there.
which connects all of them.
Right.
And by the way, I call South Asia as a part of Himalaya sphere. One of my friends and colleagues, Professor Tangchun,
Yeah.
now very ill, 92, and back in China.
Yeah.
under treatment. He coined this term, Himalaya sphere. So Himalaya, the mountain range
Yeah.
with rivers flowing on
Flowing
both
down.
sides.
Yeah.
Yangtze, Huanghe to that side, Indus, um, Tapti, Nepal, Ganges, Jamuna, Kaveri, all these
True.
are the Himalayan civilization.
True. True.
So I like that term. I have a book, we have an edited book called Emerging Global Thresholds, edited by Richard Falk, a
Yeah.
great peace activist,
Yeah.
myself. And that, my introduction is on the Himalaya sphere,
I see.
future of the Himalaya sphere.
Interesting, very interesting angle to think from the Himalayan perspective. Purely politically speaking, I think this is South Asia is the only region where there are three nuclear powers across
If we
each
include China.
China. And arguably, with the population of India and China, and God forbids if this nuclear forces unleash themselves, we're talking about Bangladesh and other smaller countries, we're talking about, if not more, at least 50% of the world's population. That idea, the thought frightened the hell out of me. And for the last however many decades since the partition of India, Pakistan, and then the emergence of the nuclear powers, both India and Pakistan in 1990s, we have had several incursions and back and forth by both. Do you see any solution to this? Do you see any hope that they are not going to be annihilate each other in time to come?
India-Pakistan relations are going to be up and down, always. And both countries have to normalize their relations, and this is the perspective of the Pakistan-India People's Forum for Peace and Democracy.
Yeah.
And also, as a part of the anti-nuclear movement, this is my view. This is my sort of view as an academic analyst, that nuclear energy and nuclear power for explosion
Yeah.
cannot be prevented. I think more already North Korea has.
Yeah. Israel has.
Israel has. Iran has the capacity.
Exactly.
And America is trying to block.
Sure.
That's all. America tried to block China.
Failed.
China
Yeah.
had it. America and Russia tried to block both India and Pakistan. Both have it.
Failed. Yeah.
Because of the technological development,
Yeah.
the sharing of knowledge is becoming so easy.
Right.
You see, therefore, nuclear knowledge
Yeah.
has to spread. Okay, therefore, these safeguards are very important, and we must prevent, because we know that nuclear option is not an option at all. You see, because it will, despite the deterrence systems, there are counter deterrents and there are other explosion possibilities. Therefore, the whole world will be destroyed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And therefore, it is not an option. It is not an exercisable option.
Well, sorry to interrupt there. Arguably, though, as a pardon my using the term devil's advocate, one would argue, as from a state perspective, that this is the best deterrence. North Korea today has the power. Nobody dares look at North Korea as they would to any other. Like same is true for Israel also.
No. In fact, I also implied that.
Yeah.
Nobody can prevent other countries from acquiring this deterrence,
Right.
this
True.
nuclear bomb. So more and more countries will have this option because it's a
deterrent.
deterrent.
So is it good then to have?
No, this is the point.
Why? That's
For many reasons. One is it will destroy the whole world.
Yeah.
Second, its radioactive effects
For generations.
for generations.
Yeah.
I've been to Hiroshima and even that experience is terrible.
Yeah.
And one reason is that. Second is the radioactive. The third is that the nuclear waste
Yeah.
is going to accumulate even out of
More.
nuclear energy
Yeah.
so much that one has to even now think of whether to go for nuclear energy, which is cheap and so-called environmental friendly and so on.
Yeah.
You see? So there are big debates. But it cannot be prevented because it is, for these warmongers,
Yeah.
it is a deterrent. It is deterrent. Anyway, I was going to talk about Iran.
Yeah.
So let's not. Therefore, two proposals we have always propounded on behalf of the forum, Pakistan-India Forum.
Yeah.
One is that you should have joint committees to discuss all your differences and find temporary workable measures,
Yeah.
whether it is line of control in Kashmir. For example, I think I mentioned this earlier, that we managed to persuade Bajpayee regime to restore the trend line along the Rajasthan-Sindh border.
Yeah.
Kokrafa.
Right.
Similarly, bus travel across the line of control on two sides of Kashmir. You see? So one is joint committees. Why must you not agree to joint committees? Both governments, let both governments appoint some, and fortunately both in India and Pakistan there are intellectuals and experts who are acceptable to both.
Yeah.
You see? Number one. And number two, use your multilateral organizations creatively and positively. We are both members of Shanghai Cooperation Organization, SCO.
Sure.
You see? Now, India has been foolish by blocking SAARC to function. And now the rest of them have decided to meet. And now China says, we will be part of your initiative. And earlier SAARC had China, US, Russia as observers. Now China will be a member of the South Asia, something they want to call, without India. Of course, openly they are saying that we invite India to join. SACA. It's now called SACA.
SAARC is now called.
No, not SAARC. A new organization minus India, because India is not allowing SAARC to convene.
Prosper.
Okay. Now, United Nations, WTO, SCO, BRICS organizations. We should allow Pakistan also to become
Part of the BRICS.
BRICS Plus member. Why should India oppose? Iran has become. So, like that.
Yeah.
Allow SAARC to function. And those are forums where only in consensus decisions are taken. So, at least on the things like drug control, disaster management, health issues, so many things. We can have consensus.
Right.
So if we have joint committees and multilateral
Yeah.
forums properly organized, then we will have much interaction. Otherwise, the present deadlock,
Yeah.
disallowing students to travel, intellectuals to travel, journalists to travel, is ridiculous.
People for healthcare trying to go
Exactly,
across.
exactly.
Yeah.
Therefore, these regime leaders in both the countries,
Yeah.
army leaders or civilian leaders,
Yeah.
both try to use the Pakistan issue
Yeah.
for their political mobilization support
Right.
and make it difficult for even their challenging political parties to say different things, competitive patriotism, you see, and which has held up this, but history and objective processes force them to interact from time to time.
In addition to the references you made vis-a-vis India, Pakistan, I'm sure you wouldn't disagree that Kashmir sits right in the center somewhere there.
No, I agree. It is at the center. And again, we have always believed from the forum, and I strongly support that view, Kashmir is not a territorial dispute. It is a question, it is a situation of people's aspirations
Yeah.
being scuttled, being suppressed by regimes and militaries and by manipulations of international forces. And therefore, we have to create conditions, first of all. The two sides must interact. And there must be civil liberties, democratic rights throughout Kashmir so that people interact and evolve forums to manage their problems as well as pursue their aspirations. And the two sovereign countries must allow the people to do that. Right now, the two armies have divided Kashmir and they have suppressed their liberties.
Yeah.
Now, therefore, Kashmir is very much at the center of India-Pakistan dispute, India-Pakistan relations.
We, the South Asians living in US, South Asian network that I am part of, my colleagues, we are from India, we are from Pakistan, we are from Sri Lanka, we are from Bangladesh, we are from Nepal. We work together, we love each other, we agree, we disagree, we work. What advice would you give to South Asians like us living in diaspora to play a role that can repair these extraordinary deep fissures and fractures between the two societies where our family members still live there and so on? What can we do from here, from United States, South Asian diaspora to?
First of all, I compliment you for doing what you are doing.
Thank you.
Namely, discussing together, socializing together, and maintaining this South Asia community. Please remember, when you see our region from Google Earth satellite, the boundaries
Meaningless.
don't appear.
Meaningless.
What nature has given us, the Himalayas, the rivers, the forests, the beautiful region, so much endowed with resources and beauty and human resources. And today, for historical reasons, South Asia has a skilled population
Yeah.
with with a knowledge elite that is globally famous.
True. True.
You
True.
see? Now, therefore, South Asia community, like the European community,
Yeah.
South Asia community is a reality.
Yeah.
It was split into splinters by imperialism.
Imperialism. Yeah.
But today, we have to respect sovereignties. It will be wrong to say that, oh, Akhanda Bharat, great India,
Yeah.
sorry. The first step for South Asia community is to respect
Sovereignty of each nation.
sovereignty of each nation, knowing fully well that sovereignty also was a West European concept,
Yeah.
post-Westphalia,
True.
and particularly from 19th century onwards.
Sure.
And particularly now with leaders like Modi and Trump, Erdogan, Xi Jinping, for
Orban
whom
in Hungary.
an inch of territory,
Yeah.
border,
Yeah.
and they're fencing, electric wire fencing borders between India and Myanmar, India, Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, and so on, and US and Mexico, and
Yeah.
so on.
Yeah.
I mean, this is ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah.
History did not create this.
Yeah.
Aggressions and imperialism created these borders.
True.
But they are real. These regimes are real,
Yeah.
their power is real, our elite is real, and the bourgeoisie found the nation state as a market. That's why it exists.
Right.
You see, it wants certain concessions
Yeah.
in that territory.
Yeah.
That's why, Modi and Adani, Musk and
Yeah.
despite their
Yeah.
enmity now, Musk and Trump,
They will
they are on
reconcile.
the same
Yeah,
side.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So I would suggest that three things which are long-standing processes in different regions of the world should be articulated, identified, and pursued by regional communities everywhere. One is the intercultural cultures. I have an essay called Interculturalism. First sentence is, all cultures are intercultural.
True.
Okay.
Good.
So all South Asians here,
Yeah.
they not only have imbibed some European values,
Yeah.
so-called American values,
Yeah.
but also are beginning to see some of the Native American values
Sure.
and see what they have brought from very, very ancient times of our own regions.
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah.
consciously, unconsciously. And so this interculturalism, and it is not the salad bowl theory of multiculturalism.
Yeah.
Salad bowl is the eating
True.
imagery.
True. This is honoring each other's culture fully.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fully utter and allow incorporation.
Yes. Yes.
All cultures are intercultural, and we are constantly learning, accommodating,
Yeah.
selecting, and growing.
Growing together.
That's how human civilization has evolved.
True.
So interculturalism. So the great richness. It is not that Europe is more civilized than India or South Asia.
Sure. Sure.
They still consider France. Bush, I can't forget the elder Bush saying that Indians stink. Meaning all non-Western.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So that is the view. This colonizing, civilizing mission of colonialism.
Yeah.
So that is being self-defeated. So now that is being changed. Number one. Number two, Industrial Revolution is only one phase of history. There was history before that, and there is history
After that,
in future.
yeah.
Even the fourth industrial revolution on AI-based transformation
Yeah.
will be giving in to yet another phase, you see. So there are plurality of knowledge systems all over the world. And in South Asia, just as Brahmins and Kastas and Kshatriyas hated the Dalits and Adivasis, they thought they are uncivilized. And Europeans thought we are uncivilized.
Right.
I think that hierarchy of labor, knowledge, and economies, which is a creation of class society and imperialism, racism and patriarchy, has to be fought. So we have plurality of knowledge systems. And all knowledge systems, all cultures have positive and negative things according to
Sure.
present standards or any standard. They have to be assessed and selected. All. Lakshmipuran has also Brahminism,
Sure.
but also anti-Brahminism.
Sure.
You see. So Hinduism has Brahminism, but also Vaishnavism.
Sure.
And Sikhism is a great product of this Islam, Christianity, and Hinduism.
Yeah.
You see. So therefore, all of them have positive things and negative things.
Yeah.
So the plurality of knowledge systems, cultures, respect, assess, have a scientific assessment and incorporation. This is very important because they think our art, culture, food is all right, but
Not
there are certain other things which are not all right.
Yeah.
Eating with hand.
Yeah.
Because Joran eats with hands.
Yeah, it became an issue.
He
Became
is called
uncivilized
uncivilized by a senator or congressman.
One of the Congress.
Yeah, one of the congressmen.
Yeah.
And the third thing is very important, that anti-imperialism held us together. And anti-imperialism also was in US, was in England. You know, the Nehru as student, Gandhi as a student, Krishna Menon more so. They were part of the India League. You see, because they thought that progressives, communists, and so on, you know, they criticized British imperialism from Britain itself.
Yeah.
Similarly, from America, you see, in America we had many friends of the Indian freedom struggle against British.
Sure.
Many enemies also. I mean, imperialists also had their friends, but we also have anti-imperialists had their friends. Therefore, decolonization. That's why I want to go back to Bandhu.
Yeah. Where we started.
Decolonization holds us together.
Yeah.
So these three things. One is the long civilizational cultural plurality has to be respected. And remember, America has two options.
Yeah.
Becoming a white European colony again, colony in the settlement colony.
Yeah.
A white European settlement or a mini world. Because of its 250 years of experience of struggle for liberty, justice, equality, it has the option of becoming the world's freedom center, center of equality, freedom, and justice.
Right.
So these two models are at war today.
Yeah.
So SAN has a very clear stand. First, the plurality of cultures, then respect and incorporate and act upon alternative knowledge systems, global knowledge systems. You see, I studied China because I wanted to study something non-Western. And this department had just started, this center. I was, so I grabbed it. But China is a part of the non-Western society. That is why Bandhu excites me so much. And China is part of that Bandhu. And Bandung excites now all anti-imperialist intellectuals all over the world
Yeah.
because they want what damage to
Imperial
society,
power.
culture, and environment colonialism did in 300 years,
They will not
we
do
have to
that.
undo.
Yeah.
Right now, neoliberalism, neorealism has restored neocolonialism, including industrial revolution values of individual aggression, consumerism, this competitive values,
Yeah.
and so on.
Winner and loser.
Whereas Bandung values are Swaraj and Ubuntu values.
Live together, grow
Live
together.
together, grow together, respect together.
Yeah.
Therefore, SAN is a privileged group because of the skill and the rich cultural heritage. And they may not carry the baggage of either slavery or white Europe
Yeah.
or the distressed labor from Latin America and Mexico.
Yeah.
Yes, part of Indians have come like that also.
Yeah.
But bulk of the Indian, the SAN South Asian community here
Yeah.
is, they came as professionals.
Right.
And those entries,
Right.
even Sikh farmers, the original,
True.
they came as,
Yeah.
entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
You see. Therefore, I think SAN has a great agenda to pursue, agenda of democracy, solidarity, in fact, to take forward the Bandung agenda.
Thank you so much. I mean, there cannot be a better closing, perhaps, with that mandate that we have received from Professor Mohanty to pursue in our modest ways at South Asian Network as an organization, we as individuals of the South Asian diaspora in the United States, as friends and colleagues, to really come together in that spirit of Bandung, people who were colonized now in pursuit of decolonizing ourselves and the world through sharing and learning and enriching ourselves with our rich cultural traditions and sharing of alternate knowledge system that we all have inherited from our forefathers and foremothers. So that's a beautiful, beautiful closing, and I cannot thank you enough for.
Thank you. I also enjoyed the discussion.
This time that you gave us, and your optimism is contagious. You give us hope that tomorrow is going to be a better day if we all commit to it to make it happen to the best of our ability. My colleagues at South Asian Network is deeply, deeply indebted to the myriad contributions and your lifelong commitment that you have made selflessly at a cost of your personal health, your well-being, the risks that you have taken, and you have spent your entire lifetime for no other purpose but to make this world a better place. What a privilege that I have.
Thank you.
What a
Thank
privilege
you.
that we all have.
Thank you very much.
Spend this
Thank you.
evening with you together.
Thank you.
So, folks, this is what San Bytes is all about. We learn together, we grow together, we share with each other, and we make this place a better world for all of us. Thank you so much for joining us, and many more to come.
Thank you.